Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a timeless reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here's the builder. This is the Prince of Pentacles. This is someone that shows up every day. Okay? This is someone committed to the work that they do, that are fulfilling their obligations to the world. This is you really being responsible, right? You're working hard and it's paying off, right? You're consistent. You're committed. You, like I said, you show up every day and you're on time and you're ready to work, right? This is the builder. This is, I think, telling me that you liked the DIY stuff. You like to do stuff yourself. Yeah, I think you're very very handy. I think you can fix a lot of things. You have a very functional knowledge of the way things work in the world, and you're able to repair things. The suggestion is of the material world, like you know about mechanics and stuff. You can fix a car, you can fix a sink, you can fix the plumbing, you can do the electrical, maybe not the electrical, let's be careful. But you know how to do stuff, right? Let's put this into some context. What are we doing with all of this very practical knowledge, right, and skill? Well, let's see. We're going to put this to good use. Oh, there's a 3 of Wands. There's an idea of identity here, right? Ooh, a 3 of Cups now. A 2 of Pentacles. I wonder if we were going to get a 3 of Pentacles. A 7 of Cups. The Moon card. Another 3. There's the 3 of Pentacles. Now, are we going to go for all 4? I don't know. Let's see. There's the Lover's card. Interesting, interesting. There's another builder. The Prince of Wands. This is building on a different plane, though, right? And it's kind of cool because we got the 3 of Pentacles for the Prince of Pentacles. We've got the 3 of Wands for the Prince of Wands. Now we need really just a Prince of Cups, right? No, we've got a 9 of Wands, and that really is strength. And this is, to me, this is because of the connection between both worlds. Spiritual creation, spiritual commitment, building on the spiritual plane, building on the physical plane, fire to earth. And you've been here before, Sagittarius. You know what I say about fire and earth. It is that spiritual circuit. It's that electrical circuit, right? You're working on the electrical. I guess I was right. It's that circuit of creation, from fire to earth, heaven to earth, above to below, from within to without, from idea to implementation, from will to action, from impulse to behavior, from fire to earth, instant creation, right? And that's it's manifestation. This is the law of manifestation. This is the secret to manifesting your will and your desires, right? Your higher spiritual desires, I might add. And this is with the princes too. You're committed to this. Or you are gaining the commitment. You have this commitment to the practical kind of building of the physical world, the mechanical world. But here we have the spiritual side of things. We have the more creative side of things, right? And so you're realizing what your spiritual identity is. I think you know your earthly identity, but what's your spiritual identity? What is it that your soul truly wants? Who are you really? Underneath all the physical, mechanical stuff, underneath our clothes and our skin and our bones and all that stuff, what are we? We're light, right? We're a radiant spirit. We are a sun, you know? And at the end here, the very tip of the end, the tip of the spear here, is that sun. It's at the very highest point of the reading, right? All this stuff, well, this stuff really is usually down here. That sun is at the highest point on the table today. And that is you. That is your true self emerging from all of this different kinds of work that you're doing, all of these efforts to manifest. I think you've been experimenting with a lot of things. You've been learning what works for you, what doesn't work for you. You've been learning what you want, what you don't want, right? What you want, what you don't want. Yeah. Fire to earth. Fire to earth. We've got, fire to earth. We go through some other major arcana. Let's select the mystery card here before we talk about these two major arcana energies. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is that factor, infinite and unknown. We're going to set it here. Tiny Bob Ross, right on top. Thank you, Tiny Bob Ross. Now, we're not looking at that card till the end. If you have a prediction for it, put it in the comments. You know the drill. You know how it works here. I want you to exercise your intuition. Every time you watch a video, why not? We're here, right? We might as well do it. It's important to keep practicing these things. And I think that the moon energy has a lot to do with that. If we look at the moon card and we look at the lover's card, there's kind of a similarity here, right? Look at these two cards side by side. There's two figures, one on either side of the card. There's something that's connecting them together. They're holding hands, they're crossing arms here. And then at the bottom, there's an egg. This one is an egg girt with a serpent. This one is the sun girt by the beetle, the scarab beetle here. So both cards indicate a union. Both cards indicate something new resulting from that union. In the moon card, this is going down to the underworld to find our true self and bring it back up, to help the resurrection, to help the sun rise in the morning, right? And it's through our own inner transformation that we are going through, that we are merging the pairs of opposites, heaven and earth, in this case, right? Fire and earth. We're bringing the opposites together. We're marrying them together, lover's card, in order to produce that spiritual sun, in order to kind of coax the sun to rise. Yeah, that is magic. And I think in ancient days, they used to perform magic to get the sun to rise in the morning, There would be nightly rituals that would ensure that the sun would rise, and yearly cycles and all this kind of stuff too, to make sure that the sun would keep rising every morning, right? Could you imagine if it didn't? But that's the point of this card, is that there is no certainty, right? The priests of ancient days and priestesses of ancient days, they probably could have said, well, the sun will probably rise tomorrow. I'm like 99.9% sure that it will. Sometime in the next 24 hours, it'll rise. Do you want to take that gamble? Maybe we should do the ceremonies anyway. Maybe we should perform the rites and the rituals just in case. Okay? We have to be willing to do everything within our power, perform our magic, to bring about the kind of future that we want, because we cannot be certain about anything. 99.99% is pretty sure, but it's not absolutely sure. There is no absolutely here on the manifested plane. So we never know what the future will hold. Right? So we do what we can. We put in our best efforts. We make the best decisions that we can. Three of Wands, integrity, character. This is your motivation. This is you identifying as the spirit, and you want to realize that identification and bring that sun into the world, bring that enlightenment into the world of form, the kind of material manifested world. I think it's your time to shine. I really do. I feel like this is you committed to this kind of magic. And with that sun at the very end, I feel like you're emerging as this shining and radiant spirit, this shining and radiant and confident creative personality even, right? And I wonder what the physical component of this is. I wonder if you've been showing up every day, working very hard at something, and now you're going to have that breakthrough. Now you're going to be shining like the star that you are, right? So it's kind of like you've been going on a lot of auditions, and now is your big break. Now get ready to step up, because now you got that lead role somewhere, right? And we could be talking about that kind of celebrity or that kind of, Hollywood performance, or maybe it's a Broadway kind of thing. Maybe it's in music, maybe it's in art, maybe it's at the job, maybe it's in your family, right? You've been putting in, maybe this is just something very personal. Maybe there's nobody else around. You've been putting in a lot of effort, showing up every day, working on something. Well, it is going to now finally succeed. And it's kind of like Clark W. Griswold in Christmas Vacation, where he's been working on those Christmas lights for so long, right? Or, really, it's only like a day, I guess. But he's been working so intensely on them. He's committed to making that thing work. And in that last moment where he puts the plug together, makes that connection, makes that, again, with the electricity, right? Makes that connection and everything lights up. It's a huge win for him. He's crying. It's just glorious, right? It's shining, radiating. And, other people around, his father-in-law, all right, that's cool. I'm going inside. Nobody else really cares but him. It's kind of, it's a comedy movie if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you probably have seen it. But this is an intensely personal thing for you. All right. Now, with the Lover's card in the environment, I do feel like this is you merging with your purpose. We were talking about kind of merging the heaven and the earth, the opposites here, to bring about this glorious moment, this, sunrise. And let's not forget, it was Helen, played by Beverly D'Angelo, that figured out the secret that made that thing work, right? He was saved by the goddess, let's say, who flipped the switch, right? And I think that there is a switch being flipped in you as well, where it's this different approach to things. I think maybe it's this commitment now to your true spiritual identity that's giving you the confidence, the character, the integrity, the assertiveness to say no to things and to say yes to an ideal. It's like we're turning down things that most people would probably not turn down, right? We're saying no to things because we know what the potential really is. We're not going to take that other job because we know the kind of job that we really want. We're saying no to those minor roles, those minor auditions, because we're holding out for that really big lead role in something, okay? And I think a switch flipped here, and I don't know if this is the switch of self-worth, if this is something in you clicked, and now you understand how to manifest the fire to earth. There's something that ignited this confidence. There's something that got that allowed the electricity to flow. Again, it's like Beverly D'Angelo flipping the switch in the garage. I know, spoiler alert, sorry. But there's something there that was prompted by spirit, right? That gave you that realization, that insight about, it flipped a switch in you, right? It turned something on that is now allowing you to manifest your will. Again, it's the secret of manifestation, right? Fire to earth. And I think maybe it is settling for nothing less than your ideal. This is the Three of Cups. This is what you feel within. This is the abundance. This is the creativity. This is the love of which you are capable. This is your potential for love and for creativity, right? And for connection. And you know your worth. You know your potential. So you're not selling for the Seven of Cups. You're not falling into the same kind of, trap that other people might. Now, I don't know if this is Hollywood or Broadway or whatever. It very well could be, knowing you, Sagittarius. But whatever this is, I feel like you're not settling for anything other than, the highest kind of, the highest spiritual abundance and love that you can imagine, that you can fathom. Because we have the Lover's card, I have to say that there might be a love relationship taking place. And this is you knowing the kind of love that you want and not settling for anything that is not anything less than ideal. You know the kind of love that you're capable of, and you're not settling for anyone that's not going to match you cup to cup, right? And so what we really want is a 6 of cups. No, I'm not going to take that 7. I can say no to things. You know yourself. You know what you are capable of. You know that you have the authority and the autonomy to say no to things that aren't going to work for you. You're not going to settle for something lower or less than the highest. Okay? In a spiritual sense and in a practical sense. Okay? You're building something and you're not going to use cheap materials. You're going to use the very highest quality of things when you build your life or your future, right? And it doesn't have to be romance. Now, let's not assume that it has to be just because it's the Lover's card. This is you really marrying yourself to your purpose, really to your spiritual identity, marrying yourself to your potential, and that's kind of the union there. That's the commitment. That's the choice that you're making that won't allow you to settle for anything less. You see? So we've got the 2 major arcana energy. We do have fire. We've got our water, yeah. And we've got our earth energies. What we don't have is the air energies, because I don't think there's really any conversation or debate that needs to be had. I think that we're not confused. We're not second guessing. We're not being we're not vacillating, right? We're not being wishy-washy, because you have this commitment. Now, this is the Gemini card, so this is air energy. This is all the air energy we need. Everything, every decision, every thought you have in life goes back to this union. And really, it's ultimately a union between you and higher self, you and spirit, right? Everything is kind of judged or weighed against this commitment. You know, this is that main focus. This is the source from which every other decision is going to flow. Okay? Spirit's telling me that you recently got over an illness. You had a respiratory thing, right? Spirit's kind of showing me the lungs. There's something going on with your breathing recently, right? Spirit's showing me that. Sometimes these details come in. They don't mean anything specific in terms of the energy here. It's a way of validating and confirming the energies that we're in, okay? And to offer synchronicities for some of you. But there's something with the respiratory system or the lungs, the breathing. And I feel like you've been using a lot of peppermint to kind of ease the breathing there, or maybe, to just like a aromatherapy kind of thing, just to kind of open up the bronchioles a little bit and to ease that breathing. Yeah. Okay. So the Lover's card. This is that commitment from which every other choice is going to be decided. Okay. And this is that spiritual commitment and that union. So both of these cards really are about bringing those 2 sides of ourselves together in order to produce our very best self, our highest, spiritual entity that is us, right? It's higher self and lower self, and I don't like looking at it that way. I don't know if I really agree with those terms, higher and lower self, right? But it kind of looks that way here. You've got the spiritual sun, you've got the human kind of personality down there with the moon energy. Yeah. And they're connected. But they're equal. They're not, one's not higher than the other. When you're in infinite space, there is no up or down. There's no higher or lower, right? Things are just in different places. Things have different functions. Things have different roles to play, depending on where you're at and what you're doing, right? But one is not necessarily better than the other. We want them both to be in harmony. We want our true self and our human personality to be together, united as one. And when we are united as one, that's really the kind of true self of that solar energy. That's what the solar energy really is, right? It's not the higher self only. It's kind of the pulling of everything that's lower, I guess. Pulling everything else into that sun. It incorporates all of us, our entire being, right? So it's kind of, maybe it's an elevator, bringing the human self up into that solar energy. And this is really how you're going to shine through all of this energy. The 3 of Pentacles here, you understand the process of creation on the physical plane. You understand the circuitry that we're talking about. See, we've got 3 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, right? And the 3 of Cups. This is really so much potential in you to live, to love, to succeed. And I think with the 9 here is showing the manifestation of all of this potential. So it really is time to shine. I think it really is time for you to get ready to step up, you know. You understand how this creative energy works. In some ways, you've figured out the system, you know. I think a switch was flipped. And now you understand the secret of manifestation. You kind of understand like how to succeed. You've got the knack for it, in other words, right? And you're just as committed to this as you are to the kind of earthly success and the physical, you know, mechanical life. You're just as committed to the spiritual creative life. And it is really the merging of those two, the earthly life and the spiritual life together as one, because they're not separate, right? They're not separate at all. We may look at them separately because we have 2 eyes. We live in a dualistic world. So we see things as 2, but really we see things as many. But we know that things are not actually separated, right? Just like higher self and human self, or spiritual self and human self, are not separated. There's no actual boundary between the two. You know, we don't know where our human self ends and where our spiritual self begins, because it's all energy. There's no actual borders. You know what I mean? If there are, it's because we have created those. You know, we have said, this is my earthly life, that is my spiritual life, and never the twain shall meet. Well, they're already intermingled. And the sooner we recognize that, I think the sooner we really start shining, right? I think really tremendous success is in store for you. I think that you are really letting your light shine. And whatever this switch was that was flipped, and maybe it's from the past couple of readings that we saw some signs of that happening, but now there's just this confidence and charisma. Now it's just like you're going to go into the audition and you're going to ace it. They're going to just hire you on the spot. You know, it's that kind of confidence, and because you figured out the trick, not how to fool people out there. You figured out the trick to activate the totality of your being. Okay, your true self. You know, we've made that connection. I want to look at the mystery card. I've got some suspicions about this card, about what it could be. But first, we've got this moon energy. I want to do one of our divine doorways. I feel like this is the doorway. This to me, this is you stepping into the unknown. With confidence, you're married to your true self. You're married to your purpose. You're married to your potential. So you're going through this dark passageway with confidence, with no hesitation. Again, there's no swords cards here, right? Well, maybe that's the one, kind of volunteered. Freedom flows. Don't hold yourself back from worldly freedom. Dream grand things for divine, sacred reason. Well, that's perfect, right? Because that merges above and below. The worldly freedom, right? Dream grand things for divine, sacred reason. So it does connect the divine energy and the kind of earthy energy. Heaven and earth, above and below, within, without, fire and earth. Because it is all one. And the freedom flows from realizing that this is all one energy. And that, I think, is the freedom of you flowing through this dark passageway, right, into this unknown future, which maybe you are 99.999% sure of what it's going to become. You're 99.999% sure that you're going to ace this audition. But you still have to do everything in your power to prepare for it, to ensure that. Right? And I think that's the biggest mistake that we make, is that we feel like, well, you know, I'm 80, 90% sure, so I don't have to study for the test, you know. And then we realize, oh, crap, they put a bunch of questions on here that I don't know. You know, they called me on that 20%, and, you know, you fail. So even if you know all the answers, you still got to study for the test. You still got to learn your lines. You still got to practice. You still got to kind of humble yourself a little bit. which is hard to do, especially when I think this is going to be what I think it is. I think this is going to be a larger version of that sun. I think we are getting that totality, right? I think we're getting that really blindingly bright light. I think it is your time to shine, and I think we've got to step into this energy because it's close, right? It's kind of small up there, but here, I think sun. I'm thinking sun card. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments, okay? Let's see what we have. Oh, it's the star. Oh, even better. Wow. This gives kind of a new level of things, right? Maybe it is kind of a Hollywood or Broadway kind of thing. I think you are emerging as the star. And what do stars do? Well, they shine, right? So I think you are shining. I think you are becoming the star. And we know the sun is a star, right? I'm pretty sure we all know that. And this is really, really cool, especially because the star, the figure there, spirit, you are pouring this love out on the earth, but then also in the water. You're pouring your energy, your essence out in a very kind of subtle way and in a very practical way. So again, it's kind of the idea of merging both kind of, land and sea, right? The water and the earth are receiving your essence, receiving your gift kind of to the world, receiving the starlight. So I think spirit has really, and, it feels to me like a goddess kind of energy. Spirit has illuminated you, yourself, who you really are, right? And is also illuminating your path. And now you and your path are one. You and spirit are one. There is no separation. There has been this kind of holy marriage, this chemical wedding, this alchemical wedding. And this is really nice. This is really good. This makes me smile because I think you have found that which could not be found. You have found like yourself. You have found your purpose, right? The ever elusive kind of destiny. At the same time, let's contain. Because see, I was thinking with the sun card, we would have this message of we've got to contain the ego. The sun can sometimes be a little bit too confident, right? And think I'm too big to ever burn out. Well, there's always a bigger star in the sky. There's always a star that shines brighter. There will always be a sun that is bigger than our sun. In fact, our sun's kind of a small one, right? It's kind of average. There are massive suns out there that could swallow a million of our suns. So we need to put things in perspective. You are the shining star, but so is everybody else. Okay? And yes, you may be perfect for this role. You may be stepping into this future with 99% certainty, but you still have to do the work to make that happen. Okay? Let's bring it down a notch. Let's calm down. I love this card. I love this energy. I think this reading is perfect for you right now. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, click up here, or there's a link down in the video description. Okay. New readings for Sagittarius are usually on Wednesday and Sunday. I'm here every day. You can come see me again tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Does not cost you anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know where on TV or in Hollywood or on Broadway I might be able to find you. Maybe you're on YouTube or you're on Apple Music or something like that, or Spotify. I don't know. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.